Now on Newsday TV, the island's deep freeze continues. Feels like temps are below zero, and we're tracking the latest on that possible snowstorm. It's Friday, January 30th. I'm Macy Eglund. Looks like we're dodging more significant snow. That's the good news, but it's still going to be very windy and very cold. Meteorologist Jeff Banson is back with us for the latest on the storm. I'm happy to hear we're going to miss the brunt of it. That's great news.
Yeah, good news overnight coming into the Weather Center for sure. Unless you love snow and you really wanted this, but we just had a big one.
I'm over it.
Yeah, we had a big one. Not to mention that this comes along with very high winds. It's a strong storm. It's much more powerful than even the one that brought us about a foot of snow last week. And we could do without coastal flooding as well. But it is the frigid cold that we have right now across the area. Take a look at your weather headlines. And yes, we are dodging the storm, but we are not dodging the cold. Dangerous cold as we head throughout the weekend. You absolutely have to bundle up the full winter arsenal these next few days. Hats, gloves, scarves, face mask, whatever, you name it, you need it. So the weekend storm looking like a miss. It'll be a cloudy day with breezy conditions. Still going to get a little bit of that offshore wind, but won't be as gusty, fortunately. Cold weather advisories remain in effect for the island today. Look at these temperatures right now. Okay, 5 to 10 degrees. That may not seem like the worst thing in the world, but the wind chills are about 5 to 10 colder than that. We're approaching 10 below in places like Islip. It's 7 below. As we take a look at your day planner, yeah, okay, 8 degrees as we go throughout the morning, 12 as we head into the afternoon and lunchtime hour. So we'll get into the upper teens today at best, but look at those winds underneath. Anywhere from about 15 to 20 miles per hour out of the northwest. So your wind chills are going to feel colder. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, it's more of the same here and marginally better throughout the day. So this cold again with us as we head into the weekend. Up and down the eastern seaboard, we're talking about cold weather advisories and even extreme cold watches and warnings. This deep blue here, that's an extreme cold watch for tonight, and it goes all the way down just north of Miami. So the Florida Sunshine State is even feeling this deep freeze along with us. We're also going to keep an eye on that region for the developing storm. There's a little bit of energy heading into it right now. Right along this front, you start to see that low spin up off the Carolinas. That is the developing nor'easter. Frigid conditions for the Carolinas. They're going to get maybe up to a foot of snow. Could be one of the biggest snowstorms in about 3 decades for them. This storm, it continues to intensify as it moves up the shore here. And the only question was, would it start tracking a little bit further to the west or would it stay out at sea? The answer, it's going to stay out at sea. In fact, western Long Island might even have some veiled sunshine during the day on Sunday. It'll be cloudy. It'll be breezy, though. You can see those little black lines. Those are our isobars. They're tightening up because we have this strong storm offshore. We also have strong high pressure over the interior northeast, so that helps to kick up the wind. So we'll say for the eastern half of the island, we get a dusting to an inch or so. This is not going to impact your day adversely here. We're looking at warmer conditions tomorrow. How about 21 for your Saturday? Macy is doing the raise the roof for good reason. We're working our way back to freezing next week. All good news here in the Weather Center this morning, Macy.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
Only a Newsday, a multi-million-dollar settlement in the Thomas Valva case could be in jeopardy. We're told there's an impasse between his mother, Justina Zubko Valva, and her lawyers. A $9 million settlement was reached 5 years after she filed suit against Suffolk County, claiming officials ignored warnings her son was being abused. 8-year-old Thomas died of hypothermia in 2020 after being forced to sleep in his father's freezing garage. Happening now in Suffolk, police are hunting for the hit-and-run driver who killed a man and seriously injured another in Shirley. We're told the 2 men were changing a flat tire on a vehicle parked on the side of the William Floyd Parkway last night when they were hit. Detectives believe the car that fled the scene is a black Honda and has front and passenger side damage. You can see Newsday's year-long investigative series looking at Long Island's dangerous roads on our website, Newsday.com. Nassau County can start offering its longtime employees buyouts. The program was approved by the county's state-appointed watchdog, NYFA. Employees with 10 or more years on the job can start applying for the early retirement incentive on Sunday. They'll be offered $2,000 for each year of service. Smithtown is considering hiking fees on residential and building-related permits. That would include things like electrical and plumbing work and pool and fence installations. Increases would vary depending on the work that's getting done. If approved, those changes would take effect April 1st. 2 Long Island Saks Fifth stores are closing, one at Tanger Outlets in Deer Park and the other is at Tanger in Riverhead. 2 weeks ago, Saks Global filed for Chapter 11. First in Newsday, the Holtsville Zoo is closed, but its best-known resident will still make his annual Groundhog Day forecast on Monday. Holtsville Hal will still look for his shadow. Brookhaven town officials say Hal's forecast will be posted online around 7:25 Monday morning. Now, Malvern Mel, on the other hand, will also give his prediction on whether we have an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. That's set for 7 a.m. near the gazebo at Chester A. Reese Park. Only a Newsday, there's an organization on the island helping seniors stay warm during this brutal cold snap. Virginia Huey has those details.
It's really helped me, especially this winter when it's so cold.
76-year-old Sarah Gross of East Meadow is talking about the EAC network. The nonprofit's name stands for Empower, Assist, and Care. The organization helped her apply for financial assistance to pay for her home heating bills through the Home Energy Assistance Program, also known as HEAP.
I'm on a very limited income, about $28,000 a year, so heating would have been very hard for me, especially now with this cold weather.
Last year, EAC Network assisted 8,000 people with home heating help. The nonprofit says the need is growing as Long Island's aging population increases.
With this kind of cold, actually, this assistance can mean life or death for some households, quite honestly. In general, I think that what it does is it gives people a sense of relief that they can be home and can be warm and can be safe.
In addition to home heating assistance, the EAC network provides hot lunches for seniors 5 days a week.
It hits the spot. And then in the mornings, you have coffee or tea.
Food is good. People enjoy it. It's nutritional and tasty.
The EAC network also delivers food to hundreds of homebound seniors through its Meals on Wheels program.
I'm really very blessed to have all these programs that are available, and hopefully they will not ever go away.
Reporting for Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
You can see more exclusive stories like this on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Long Island's dangerous and failing roads are costing drivers nearly $4,000 every year. That's according to the transportation nonprofit TRIP. It found rough rides cost drivers in the New York metro area about $3,700. Over $700 goes to just gas and maintenance. A AAA senior manager for public affairs, Robert Sinclair Jr., tells us what the state is doing to help.
This report details the extra costs due to higher operating costs, due to crashes and congestion-related delays. All in all, it points out how tough it is to be a motorist in our area. Now, to its credit, the state government has been spending a lot of money in order to try and repair the state-owned and operated roads. But it's a tough job. We've got a lot of old infrastructure. We have a lot of vehicles. We have a lot of trucks. To its credit, again, the state is doing a good job in trying to keep up, but there are a lot of factors that are working against us, and it's real tough, and motorists are paying the price as a result. It's up to motorists to be defensive, make sure their vehicles are in good shape, drive defensively, and be prepared for the bad road conditions that they might encounter.
You can read more about the report on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Governor Hochul wants to spend $50 million to redesign the Jamaica LIRR station. Right now, details of that plan are scarce. But as transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo tells us, there is one thing commuters definitely do want to see.
The phrase "change at Jamaica" may soon take on a whole new meaning for Long Island Railroad commuters. Days after Governor Kathy Hochul announced plans for a $50 million Jamaica redesign project, Long Island Railroad riders are offering their suggestions. For many, it's less about what they'd like to see at a new and improved Jamaica station and more about what they'd like to feel: warmth.
I'm cold, and I have a coat on, don't get me wrong, I'm fully dressed, but it's cold outside.
Unlike other major New York City railroad hubs, Jamaica Station is outdoors, leaving commuters exposed to the elements, including the recent frigid temperatures. And since the opening of Grand Central Madison 3 years ago, commuters making transfers are spending more time than ever at Jamaica. Mindy Perez waited for her train under one of the few overhead heaters in the station. Would you like to see this place kind of closed up and covered up so maybe protect us from the elements?
Yeah, it'd be nice to, like, where I'm standing right now, I feel like it'd be nice to, like, close off that part and still have doors to access for your whichever track you're gonna go on.
Especially in the city like New York where it's very cold, having like a warmer, a bit more available to the people, I will tell you people would appreciate it.
Also on LIRR riders' wish lists, additional elevators and escalators, bathrooms, and improved signage to help them find their way to the connecting subway and JFK AirTrain. Hochul's office hasn't offered many details of the planned redesign, other than to say it will create better traffic flow, reduce crowding, and build out a world-class station complex. LIRR President Rob Free said the railroad has already been working on making the Jamaica experience better, including by modernizing track infrastructure to help trains run on time.
I always say we live and die by Jamaica. As Jamaica goes, the operation goes.
Now, the railroad president told me while the railroad is still working hard to get on-time performance over 70% here at Jamaica, overall on-time performance was really strong in 2025. More than 96% of trains ran on time. That is the best of any year outside of COVID. In Jamaica for Newsday TV, I'm Alfonso Castillo.
And joining me now to talk more about this is transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo, MTA board member Sammy Chu, and Brian Fritsch, associate director of the MTA's Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee, which includes the LIRR Commuter Council. Thank you all for being here with us. We appreciate your time. Alfonso, we want to start with you. We just saw your report on this. Jamaica is one of the busiest stations in North America. It's also quite old. So when was the last time it was renovated, and what were some of those projects then?
Yeah, it's been a couple decades. I think the last meaningful change we saw at Jamaica was the construction of the AirTrain building next door. That's been more than 20 years ago. Other than that, you're talking about a station that hasn't looked much different over the last 100 years. And as you've seen, Grand Central Madison be built, Penn Station being renovated, I think it's starting to kind of stick out like that old piece of furniture in the living room that's otherwise been updated.
Yeah, with 250,000 people going through every day, it's a lot of riders. Brian, what are some of the complaints that you're hearing from those commuters right now?
Yeah, we heard a lot of the same feedback that Alfonso shared in his piece. The need for protection from the elements is top of mind for riders. Definitely accessibility, adding additional elevators and escalators, especially on the west end of the platform where there currently are no elevators. Additional seating, restrooms, and dining options would all be much appreciated by riders, as well as eliminating some of the bottlenecks that Governor Hochul alluded to, especially around the AirTrain, the two massive elevators that take people from the railroad concourse down to the subway, and the gates around the subway as well, all could use some TLC.
So a lot of concerns from riders, some requests. Sammy, how do you respond to those requests from these riders?
So it's important to be clear what this commitment is from the governor. Mm-hmm. It's a $50 million design commitment. So the fact that everyone's soliciting and New Yorkers are not reluctant to offer, their criticisms or constructive fetching, I think is part of the process. So this is going to be part of the process. This is by math, the fourth largest, rail station in the country. And I think, for me, I'm one of those commuters that spends a lot of time at Jamaica that would love to see changes. So I think really it's just making a better experience. And if I had to, kind of put one perspective in this, it's also, it's not just an MTA effort. This is also, the Port Authority also operates with the AirTran, and, being able to coordinate those better is critical.
Mm-hmm. So what do you see as the goals of both Governor Hochul and the MTA in taking on this $50 million project?
Well, right now, I think it's fair to say that almost everybody who comes in and out of Jamaica is trying to get in and out of Jamaica as fast as humanly possible. Everyone's goal is to spend as little time as Jamaica as possible. And those people will always exist. And I think that will always be a large portion of the people traveling through Jamaica. But this station deserves better than that. Right now, we saw, with the interviews, some of the interviews, people are cold, there's no conditioned space. I myself have witnessed, people, struggling, trying to find, people less familiar trying to struggle to find the escalators. Alfonso, I've discussed it before. I lost count of how many people I've helped, take luggage up and down the stairs because they didn't, know where the escalators were, or they didn't want to find time to get there. So I think the goal really is to make this a more comfortable, more usable place, and really also think of that other type of commuter who may find a reason, if they had one, to spend more time at Jamaica Station and the surrounding neighborhoods. And also, just better access and better usability. I think that's all of the stated goals. And, all of these, part of a $50 million design process is taking the opinions of the stakeholders and synthesizing them into a design that is going to work best for everybody.
Yeah, still early on in this plan. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of details. Brian, let's get back over to you. So does this plan go far enough to address the needs of the LIRR riders? The redesign plan, that we know of right now, again, few details. And what would riders really like to see done with the redesign if this isn't going far enough?
Yeah. No, I think it's too early to tell, and we are super appreciative of Governor Hochul for putting this at the top of her agenda and making it a priority, because there's definitely a lot that can be done to make it a better experience for riders. Not only Long Island Railroad riders, as Sammy mentioned, but also the folks using the air train, subway riders, and bus riders. There's over a dozen bus routes that are in the area. It's not a very welcoming experience on the street, so we hope that it'll the planners will think really holistically about the experience and the many modes of travel that people use to get in and out of the station, and make it as seamlessly and quick as possible. So we think there's a lot to be done to allow riders to make their transfers even when they're in tight windows. And in parallel, we're really happy with the Long Island Railroad's work to eliminate what we call the Jamaica crawl, all the track work that's being done in the area to make train speeds better in and out. So we've got the train project on one hand. We'll have a passenger-focused project in the not too distant future, and I think both will pay huge dividends for riders no matter what mode of transit they use to get in and out of the station.
Excellent. So we've heard concerns, we've heard requests, again, early on in this plan with few details, but Alfonso, what is the next step in this?
Well, this was part of the governor's budget proposal process, and so now this is going to be part of budget negotiations going on for the next several weeks. We see if she gets the support that she would need to push this ahead. I imagine the MTA and transit advocates will be doing their part to push this along. I think right now, as we're doing here, the critical part is the public voicing what they want to see there. Now that we're still at these very early stages, this project isn't fully formed yet, so this is where riders, advocates can plant those seeds of what they'd like to see there, even if it's not necessarily what might be on the governor's radar right now. It's something as ambitious as enclosing part of the station. On one hand, maybe it seems really far-fetched. On the other hand, maybe there is enough of a push for it that maybe they start to give that consideration.
Maybe they should put a suggestion box up at Jamaica Station for a little while. Well, we know so many Long Islanders do use Jamaica Station, so we will, of course, be following this and bringing you any updates on the plan as we get them. My thanks again to transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo, MTA board member Sammy Chu, and Brian Fritsch, Associate Director of the MTA's Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee. Again, appreciate your time. You can read more about this story on our website, Newsday.com. There's a new spot to score fresh, natural, and organic foods here on Long Island. Marie Elena Martinez takes us to Sprouts Farmers Market in this week's Feed Me TV.
We're here at Sprouts Farmers Market today in Center Reach, a new supermarket that hails from Phoenix, Arizona, and is based on an organic model. It's kind of like Whole Foods times Trader Joe's, all in one, and it's pretty awesome. Come with me, let's go shopping. Different than other supermarkets, when you walk into Sprouts, you hit the protein section. Here, all of the meat and fish are organically sourced, sustainable where possible. The center of the store, like any good farmer's market, is the produce section. And here at Sprouts, it's over 50% organically sourced. They also have really interesting and exotic fruits here, like pink and yellow dragon fruits. Another section of the Sprouts store that's really interesting and unique is the Forager Finds section, which showcases new products and sees how they do in the community. Personally, in our house, we're loving the Magic Spoon s'mores with marshmallows, mini marshmallows. Welcome to the bulk section. Make your own trail mix. Test your own spices instead of buying a whole bottle for one recipe. And of course, candy. Not only is there bulk, there's bulk coffee. So save that $8 a day and make your own. Sprouts is incredible at labeling all of their different products. Whether you're gluten-free, if you're looking to eat organic, if you're keto even, there are little stickers and tags that denote that kind of eating. The frozen food section, especially the desserts here, are pretty amazing. Van Leeuwen, which is a Brooklyn brand, is stocked here, and a favorite in our house, Johnny Pop's Popsicles. The other piece of the Sprouts Marketplace is their wellness section, which is quite large and stocks proteins, powders, collagens, vitamins, and supplements. A lot of these brands can only be had online. My time here at Sprouts has come to an end, but there are 2 locations coming next year, one in Levittown and one in Smithtown. I'm Marie Elena Martinez for Newsday TV.
Read more about Sprouts on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. You can see more on these stories on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
Powerful and personal. Newsday's documentaries explore the Long Island experience. Now streaming on NewsdayTV.